The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Open Friday, your favorite talk show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rina Valentin, tu host, y Café con Leche every Friday. Let's take a look at today's show. First up, it's our open weekend preview. It's spring fun, sun, poetic, and musical events for you to enjoy. Then Bobby Sanabria and Valerie Capers joins us to talk about women in jazz for Bronx Rising. After that, photojournalist Beryl Goldberg joins us to share her experience exploring the world through a lens. Followed by our exclusive weekly sports roundup with Bobby C. And we close out the show with singer-songwriter, bachatero, Johnny Sky. So sit down y prepárate. All this y mucho más is coming your way. Because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, for the next hour. Reminding you to get social with us, people. That's right, online. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and FB at Rina Valentin. Look forward to hearing from you. All right, we are going to jump right into all things to do for the beginning of spring break. Woo! It is now time for our open weekend preview. First up, hey yo, yo soy. That's right. Imagine distilling 4 decades of prolific literary life into 12 explosive scenes. That's right. Well, Hey Yo Yo Soy is the latest in a sequence of new theater works inspired by founding figures of New Rican arts and cultural movement, reimagined by Pregones Theater. The final performances are happening tonight, Friday, April 11th, and tomorrow, Saturday, April 12th at 8 p.m. at the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater located at 304 West 47th Street. And for more information on this event, you can visit pregones.org. Our second preview, the Maxine Sullivan Women in Jazz series, is back. The Bronx Rising. Woo! Music, film, and spoken word of the Borough series is back. In this occasion, curated by City Law Award-winning folklorist Elena Martinez, Grammy-nominated Bronx musician Bobby Sanabria, and American jazz pianist and composer Valerie Capers. The presentation will include Latin music, jazz, and hip-hop performances, comedy, poetry, book reading, and an amazing musical show featuring Akua Dixon. Happening at the Bronx Music Heritage Center this Saturday, April 12th, beginning at 6 p.m. The Bronx Music Heritage Center is located at 1303 Lewis 9 Boulevard here in the Bronx. And for more information, you can visit their Facebook by going to facebook.com/Bronx Music Heritage Center. And next, Urban Environmental Challenge XC 10K Trail Race. Woo! It is time to get fit because the summer is right around the corner, people. And Van Cortlandt Park Track Club presents the annual Urban Environmental Challenge 2014. As many said, this is true woodland cross country at its best, just as spring has arrived. And, well, Lloyd's famous carrot cake will be awarded to the top 3 and 5 years age groups. Even though we don't talk about age here on SAT. Prizes are also expected to include free shoes from Skechers, new line of running sneakers, and that's happening this Sunday, April 13th, and the race begins at 10 a.m., taking place at Van Cortlandt Park at 251st Street and Broadway here in the Bronx. And for more information and to sign up and register for the race, you can visit vctc.org. And finally, great farewell concert, that is, at Lehman Center. After a long and glorious musical career with unforgettable hits and fans all over the world, Paquito Guzman is retiring from the concert stage with a farewell tour. And guess where? Right here in the Bronx. This will be a night of memory that will include both contagious and romantic salsa. The concert takes place on Saturday, April 26th. At 6 p.m. in Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, located at 250 Bedford Park Boulevard West. And for more information, you can visit lehmancenter.org. And well, that's what we have for you on this lovely spring weekend. All right. Joining us now is my BAFG. Of course, that stands for Best Animated Fitness Guru, Gail. How are you, darling?
Hi there, Rena.
Guess who's participating in the Van Cortlandt Park 10K trail?
Vince Bracey?
No. Try again.
Autumn.
No, Autumn is in the control room right now. But I know that's not relevant to Sunday, but...
I haven't had my cafe con leche today, so I'm a little tired. Let me think.
Here I am, the cafe con leche.
It's you. You're going to be in the race.
And I'm the one running the trail.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Of course, I said that just so that I can get your cheerlead because...
I know. I was just messing with you.
You're so cute. I don't mind it. I don't mind it because I question whether it should be me.
Oh, of course it should be you. You should always challenge yourself. If you're not being challenged, it's not worth it.
Yeah, but I just completed the 4-mile race.
4 miles, more miles.
More miles. I know, but you hear 10K and it sounds like a lot, but it's only a couple more miles.
Oh, it's only like 2, right?
Yeah, and so I've been
How's the training? Tell me about your training.
Thanks for asking me that because I'm getting mixed messages from people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned to you last week that I'm actually being trained by a certified fitness cross-track training coach who actually coaches teeny boppers.
Uh-oh. He makes you feel so young.
Well, I found the fountain of youth.
That's awesome.
What?
That's so cool.
Oh, that would have been nice if they would have showed us together doing our little duet there.
I concur.
But it's all good.
Oh, well.
Moving on.
Next time.
Back to the Fountain of Youth. I ran the 4 mile, and I was really happy to just complete my personal victory. And because I'm dealing with this coach who is used to competing, the first thing he asked me was, what was my time?
Of course.
And I'm like, my time? What do you mean my time?
I don't do time. I do distance.
It's all about endurance. That's all I'm really building here. Right? And breath, right?
Yeah.
These are the things I'm focusing on.
These are the fundamentals, but eventually you do want to improve your time.
Yeah, I do. Especially if I'm really, really gonna lock in the TCS New York City Marathon.
Exactly, girl. You don't want to be the one out there 27 hours later. An hour a mile is no bueno.
27 hours only. Could you imagine 27 hours without going to the bathroom?
That would be terrible. Have you seen that picture on the internet? Ooh, buddy. This guy is... Yeah.
No.
He had an accident.
While he was running?
Yeah, while he was running. He didn't want to stop.
You don't jinx me. Don't jinx me.
I will not.
Don't jinx me. No, but the exciting thing is that we're going to be in Van Cortlandt Park this Sunday.
Right.
And so I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure that I know I mentioned it in the open weekend preview. However, if anybody's interested in joining us or even cheering me on, it's actually the race it begins at 10 a.m.
And it's supposed to be such a beautiful day.
Right. However, the registration is at 9 a.m. And I'm happy that it's going to be a beautiful day because that obviously is going to be my motivator, running with the trees and the trails and the incline, but, Yeah.
Are you going to bring little Charm?
No, Charm is going to take a break, but believe it or not, Charm is going to be running with me as well, coming very soon. Because the last race we did had a children's race, and she got sight, so now she's kind of like watching Mommy run, and we're going to start coaching her too.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Mommy-daughter running time.
Well, that's what this is all about, creating a habit that is just part of our lifestyle, right?
Absolutely.
And so if it's running brings out such youthful energy and it just, yeah, really. I mean, once you get past the soreness.
No, but it's a wonderful thing because you're building something with your daughter and you're showing her that if you can do it, she can do it. Strong woman power, all that wonderful stuff. Applause for you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. They're rubbing me up already. Can you believe that?
Oh.
I know. But you know we can just chit-chat all morning.
Well, really quickly, I know that you said people have been giving you mixed messages. And you know what it is? You just got to do what's good for you. If you feel you need to do yoga in between your running, do it. You need the stretching. You need to learn how to control your breathing. For me, when I run, I usually sing a song in my head. And I pace my steps and my breathing with that song.
That's interesting. I like that. I'm going to take that into consideration because I do have favorite songs that I listen to because I have my iPod. I have a whole eclectic, array of music. But
well, my song, you seen that movie Jaws, right?
The one with the shark?
Yep. That one. Well, when they're getting drunk. No, wait.
Shark? Okay.
When they're getting drunk on the boat,
right,
they sing this song. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right to my head. It has a cadence to it. So I use that cadence to regulate my breathing.
What a wonderful piece of advice. Thank you, Ms. Gail. All right, I to be continued next Friday.
Yes.
Thank you, darling.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Gail. Everybody say bye. You rock. All right, well, we do have to take a quick break, but coming up next, we'll be talking about Bronx Rising, so stay tuned.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
Welcome home, man.
Welcome back to Open, and we're always reminding you to get social with us. We want to get to know you. So tweet us at BronxNet TV, and of course, tweet me while you're there at Reina Valentin. And so the spring season has arrived, yes. And well, the spring season of the Bronx Music Heritage Center series, Bronx Rising, which is music, film, and spoken word of the borough, is back. This marvelous event praises the culture and art of Latino culture. And here to tell us more are multiple Grammy-nominated Bronx musician Bobby Sanabria, an educator and American jazz pianist, and composer Valerie Capers, who are also both Bronx Walk of Fame inductees. Bienvenidos.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay, Bronx!
Yay, Bronx. Bronx is in the house.
That's
and,
right.
Most definitely.
And, let me just start by thanking both of you for making the time to be here and share your voice and just not being too busy or too big for us to, share you with the next generation.
It's a pleasure. We're very happy to be here, both of us.
And I say that because you're both educators, right, as well as musicians, and you have a really long history. So I just want to share a little bit about you to our audience, and if we could just start, maybe we'll start with Valerie Capers.
Sure, ladies first.
Who's a doctor also. If you could just, professor.
Well, my history is longer than Bobby's, I guess, because I'm old. But anyway, no, I got my education at the New York Institute for the Education of the Blind in the Bronx, one of the finest schools for the blind. And from there, I went to the Juilliard School of Music, where I earned my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. And to this day, I'm sorry to say it, to this day, I'm the only blind person who's gone through the school. I had hoped that, when that happened, it was sort of a revolutionary thing, that it would happen again and open up the doors, but it didn't quite happen. But from there, I did a lot of teaching. I was at the Manhattan School of Music for a while, and I finally got an opportunity to go to Bronx Community College, which has been my home in my life for, I guess, maybe about 30 years. I taught there for 24, and I started as an adjunct, and I left there a full professor and chairman of the Department of Music and Art. And now in this part of my life, I'm Professor Emeritus, and I've had the chance to do all the things I did with my student to concentrate on me. So it's been wonderful.
Well, congratulations. You are true inspiration.
Valerie's being modest because she's worked with many, many well-known people in the world of jazz, including one of my older employers, Mongo Santa Maria, and another one of my old employees, Dizzy Gillespie.
Yes.
And May 29th, Valerie will be honored by Lehman College. She'll be getting an honorary doctorate here at Lehman. So,
Another one?
Yeah, I'm so,
Another one?
I'm collecting. No,
Well,
I like this. It's like I'm collecting
I'm
them.
so proud of this because it was wonderful, the others. Thank you for mentioning about. But this is my home. The Bronx is my home, and then to get a thing like that from my home, it's really wonderful. So I'm so excited about
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations. And Bobby, thank you for bringing that to our attention and sharing that with everybody. And, you've been here on numerous occasions, but I always feel that we should share with everyone your history a little bit, the accolades. I mean, you're a multiple Grammy nominated, and you're an educator as well.
Thank you. Well, I grew up in the South Bronx here in the Melrose Projects. And my first training was in the streets of New York. I was the first Puerto Rican to attend the Berklee College of Music in 1975. I graduated in 79 with my bachelor's degree. And in percussion and drums, and with a minor in arranging and composition. And then right after college, I went on the road with Mongo Santa Maria, who maybe the young people don't know who that is, but Mongo was one of the greatest artists in the history of Latin jazz.
Absolutely.
And he lived here in the Bronx at one time on Prospect Avenue. He was one of the virtuosic conga drummers that came from Cuba and was responsible for being one of the first to fuse jazz arranging technique in a small group context. And he had a big hit in the 1960s, Watermelon Man. There was a piece by Herbie Hancock, who was a pianist, famous. He's won like 38 Grammys. But Herbie, he lived in the Bronx at one time, and we part of the mission of the Bronx Music Heritage Center is to remind people the great heritage that the Bronx had musically. We are the borough of music, not Brooklyn, not Queens. We love Staten Island and Manhattan, but this is the borough of music. We had more nightclubs, catering halls, theaters, restaurants than Manhattan at one time. And of course, with the burning of the Bronx, that changed, but it's part of the mission to bring that culture back.
But we're the new Bronx. We don't even have to reference that phase because we've done past that. But you mentioned the Bronx Music Center, which is why you're here, and then now you're actually passing it on to the next generation. And so share a little bit about this event, Bronx Rising, because it's a long event. It's not just a one-night event.
Well, my co-curator and my wife, Elena Martinez, we co-curate Bronx Rising. We've done this for 2 years already. We've done it's close to 70 concerts, producing everything from concerts to in-depth interviews with famous authors, filmmakers, etc. We've screened films, documentaries, etc. So, as I said before, in keeping with that mission, Saturday, tomorrow, we're having the great Akua Dixon, who's a fine cellist, and Maxine Sullivan, who Dr. Capers could talk a little bit more about. She's a famous jazz singer, used to live in the Bronx. I talked about several musicians, famous musicians that used to live in the Bronx, and Maxine was one of them. And she lived in the Morrisania section of the South Bronx, and we've dedicated this Woman in Jazz series. We started last month with Antoinette Montague, the great jazz and blues vocalist, and now we're continuing with Akua Dixon tomorrow, and maybe Valerie can shed some light on Akua's career.
Yeah, can you just, before we go, because we need to give... what I guess is really most fascinating and interesting, aside from your commitment to making sure that this borough is educated and knows the history, and what your statement regarding that this is the borough of music, but jazz, that particular genre, which is what we're discussing here, Dr. Capers. Why jazz? I'm just curious.
You mean why this borough should be considered the borough of jazz?
No. Just why you chose jazz to be the highlight. I mean, I know you're a serious jazz advocate.
Well, just to riff on that a little bit, it's not just jazz. We're about hip hop. We're about all the different cultures. For example, next month in May, we're going to have the Garifuna Heritage Month celebration. Bronx Week, the Garifuna community is the black community from Honduras, Belize, and St. Vincent, and many other places in Central America and the Caribbean. We're going to be honoring on June 21st Cool DJ Herc with a big block party and honoring him, the father of hip hop. Then in August, we celebrate Salsa Month in the Bronx. We're going to have Latin Boogaloo. We're going to be...
He's giving us the calendar.
That's right.
It's eclectic.
That's right.
We get it. We get it, Mom. We get it.
all through
Exactly.
we got so many events happening. So everything that's about Bronx music and culture, we're celebrating. But
this one is jazz. This one is
this
women in jazz at that,
yes,
which is what
yes.
I really was referencing when it came to asking Dr. Capers. But thank you for sharing the calendar with us.
So Valerie, if you could talk a little
Sure.
bit about...
Well, I'm very excited about tomorrow because, in a great sense, when you think about it, women have been, I think, somewhat second-class citizens in jazz. A woman can sing, a woman can play the piano. Those are womanly type things. But the idea of women playing saxophones, I think the men think they own that. Saxophone, drums,
right.
All that sort of business has not been something that has made it easy for women to break into jazz on an even footing with men. And ever since really Lillian Armstrong with the piano, arranging and doing things like that for Louis Armstrong, women have been working and plodding along. There was a great group called the International Sweethearts of Rhythm who became very popular in the 1940s, and they were marvelous. They were considered one of the great bands. They were the first time doing a band, women playing in a band rather than small groups, and they were wonderful. They had excellent people in them. Carlene Ray, who was a bass player, who passed away just recently, was part of it. And so tomorrow there are some magnificent women who are going to be on the panel. Maxine Roach, who was Grammy nominated for, her father is Max Roach.
Right.
And he wrote a composition called Extensions, and it's all percussion. And she then took that and created it into a musical composition, and she got nominated for that. And she studies viola. She studied viola. She studied with one of the William Primrose, who was the finest violist in the 20th century. And she's going to be and she's a working musician. She plays for Radio City Music Hall, or if she's going to be in a band or an orchestra that's backing up Tony Bennett or Barbra Streisand. These are women. Carol Sudholder, who, as long as I've known her, she's been involved in working for grants for women, for doing projects. She's extremely generous for doing projects and inviting them to perform. She's an excellent teacher. Kobe Narita, who is very special. She's been an advocate for women in jazz all her life, and just recently lost her husband. And she's coming tomorrow to talk about the fight and the things that she's done to, to bring women to jazz. And I have a feeling, Paula Hampton, I think, and she's a drummer, and that's not necessarily a percussionist, although there are more of them now. That's an instrument that for many years was not considered an instrument that women play, but we do have some fine ones now. And then, as Bobby mentioned, the crux of the evening is going to be after the panel discussion, and I'm sure it's going to be very lively and very interesting, and I'm sure terribly informative.
Terribly
Very informative, I guess.
It's hilarious because I could sit here and just listen to you, and we're running out of time.
Right,
but
and Pat Akua Dixon, and her quartet's going to play. Now I'm going to shut up.
No, it's all good. It's all good. They're wrapping me up, and I just think it's important that they understand what you guys are really doing.
Yeah. It's good. It's going to be great because Akua's quartet Indigo plays music, for, world music, but it's a actual string quartet, a cello, viola, and 2 violins, and they're going to be doing music from all around the world, but with jazz improvisation. And Akua is one of the finest cellists in the world, and the event is free.
We love that word.
Yes.
That's my favorite word. Free.
So take the 2 of the 5 to Freeman Street, and it's 1303 Louis IX Boulevard, and you'll find out who Louis IX was tomorrow. I'll tell you all about
I
him.
like that. I know you're like a historian. I love it. He knows
He's
everything. He's like a
wonderful
walking
historian.
encyclopedia.
Yeah.
I tell you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here with us.
Great.
What
Thanks
time
for
does
the
the event to start?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. All right. Once again, for more information on the Bronx Rising music, film, and spoken word of the borough, visit facebook.com/Music Heritage Center. We do have to take a quick break, but before we do, let's take a look at Beryl Goldberg's last exhibit. Our Bronxite cameras were there to give us the inside details of this amazing world tour. Let's take a look.
I am Beryl Goldberg, standing by my photo exhibit that is being sponsored by Lehman College. When I first started photographing, I had been very interested in Africa. I was originally getting a degree in African studies, and so I was, okay, I will go to Africa and photograph. I saw this woman, her name is Rasmata. I offered her some money to take her picture, and she said, fine. Even though I couldn't really speak to her, she just sent this sort of force and strength, and they really revere her. But her granddaughter, whose name is Zelika, now lives in the Bronx with her, and her brother also is here studying. And that young lady sitting with her mother owns this beauty parlor, so that's a picture of her. The dress that she's wearing, they gave me one of those. And here it says, welcome, and it says Burkina Faso here, and that's, I think, the mosque in Mecca. My philosophy is to show their lives, to show the best of their lives. This is a story that you don't hear about Africa, I feel. You hear a lot about war, drought, civil war, fighting, but you don't hear stories of everyday families who are doing very well. And there's some very positive stories that I really don't think we hear often enough.
The studio, that was a little taste of the guests we have here on set. Photography is actually one of the most beautiful forms of visual art, in which we can express millions of words with a simple image. Because, well, what is that saying? A photo is worth 1,000 words. And photography actually gives us the opportunity to explore the world in a way we have never seen before. And so our next guest, who you just got a taste of, is here to share how she made this possible and to talk about the world of possibilities and her most recent exhibit, 3 Families, 3 Decades, Portraits from Burkina Faso. We welcome Beryl Goldberg.
So happy to be here.
We are happy to have you here. And as we just saw in the package, your exhibit is already opened, and it's going to be on display for how long?
Just a few days more, I think.
Okay, so
unfortunately.
when
It's
does it
been-
go?
I'm not sure, actually.
Okay.
Like sometime next week.
I just want to make sure that people get
Yeah,
in there
I
to
hope.
see it, and
Really.
just let's just share a little bit about your background in photojournalism. You actually, I went through your website, and you have this sense of humanity in your images, no matter where you've traveled. What's that like to just travel the world and photograph?
Wonderful. I've been very lucky. I've been able to see and go to so many places, and either on my own or through the assignments I had, be able to really meet wonderful people and people who are really working to improve their societies, to help their societies, and all over. Latin America, Africa, Asia. So
you've been. You want to name some of the places you've been, because it's really fascinating how you have just traveled the world to photograph.
Cambodia, India, Bangladesh, Israel, Africa, various countries in Africa, Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Nigeria.
What is
Mexico?
Oh my goodness! Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Argentina,
Oh my
Chile.
goodness! Wow.
Most Guatemala, Costa Rica.
So, what is the inspiration behind your choice of images?
My goal is really to show the best, to show people at their best. There's such a narrative in our society of less than, in Africa. That's one of my major, as you can see with those photos, that there's a narrative about Africa that it's dangerous, horrible. There's nothing but famine, poverty, drought, civil war, and these photos show a reality that is true. I didn't set out to prove. When I first met these families, I was just starting out as a photojournalist. And
how many years ago was that?
That was 19.
Did she just do
a few years?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's shocking how many. But I had been a public school teacher and just for a few years, and I took a course with a fabulous teacher named Harold Feinstein, who just was inspirational. I'd been taking pictures of my students, and I just said, okay, I'm giving this up. I also was getting a degree in African studies, and I just realized I wasn't cut out to be an academic. So, okay, giving this all up, give up my apartment, farm everything out, take off for West Africa. And through friends, I met these people. One family invited me to live with them for a few weeks, and I met other people in the market. This was Burkina Faso, which was then Upper Volta. It wasn't even Burkina Faso then.
And so how many years ago was this? We're still back to
72 was when I took this trip.
The reason I keep asking is just to set up, because you're in such a different place now.
Right.
It's very interesting that it's so vivid. That memory is. It's almost like as if it was yesterday.
Right.
And now your clients are like New York Times, Planned Parenthood, and I'm just sharing that with our viewers, because you actually are hired to go abroad and capture.
Sometimes, either way. I was sent to Bangladesh. I was sent to Cambodia and India. I was hired. I also worked extensively with educational book publishers, and I was sent to Puerto Rico, Spain, and Venezuela to photograph.
And so going back to the Africa, the actual Burkina Faso, right, which is where you started in 72, and it's almost like you have extended family over there, is what it sounds like to me.
Truly.
And then you went and you captured them, and now you're exhibiting them. Like, what do you hope that people leave with?
Just the reality that, and I went back, then I went and I was able to find them. The last time I'd been there was in '79, and then in 1998 I said, okay, I'm going. I'm going to see if I can find them. And I wrote some letters, and 2 of them wrote back to me. One I did not have any post office box for, but I went and heard back from them, and they're fabulous, and they're doing well. And that's not an image, again, that people have of Africa, and generalize Africa. There are many, many countries in Africa. So this is this country of Burkina Faso, but I think throughout Africa there exist families who are doing well, who are well educated, and the parents of these families are all market people who were relatively poor, and now some of them, one has a PhD from a university in France. The girl, wonderful young lady who lives here in the Bronx, has a master's. She came here to go to college, and she came here, has an undergraduate degree, a graduate degree. She's talking about going for a PhD. And when I met them, her grandmother especially was like poor. She was selling drinks. I mean, that's one of the photos.
I know. And now
it's
everybody,
miraculous.
it is miraculous.
And common. I mean, it's miraculous, but not unusual. And that's what I'm trying to
capture.
Show.
Yeah, no, and you did. I noticed it. And I also like the fact that you use titles such as developing families as opposed to third world country. It's like it's shifting. It's shifting. It's
big
shifting.
Conversations on that terminology.
I know. I wish we had more time, but we're out of time. Is there something you want to leave us with before we go?
People are wonderful and special, and we have to honor people where they are and their religion and from where they're from, and not treat them as dangerous stereotypes.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Right. Because at the end of the day, we're all one race anyway, the human race. All right. So for more information and to view some of her images, you can visit BerylGoldberg.com. Go to BerylGoldberg.com. All right, we have to take a break, but we'll be back with our weekly sports roundup with Bobby C.
G-Morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back.
Are you with your friends? That's lame.
We're in a huge fight right now. XO.
What'd you dream about?
Something I did. Are you on your way to the
I'm
mall?
lonely.
Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
This was me. And Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And Jack. This was the day that I learned that sandals get their name from sand. And that the ocean is bigger than all of us. This was the day we all got to forget that I was sick. This was my wish.
Man. We start on the big baseball diamond in the Bronx, where the New York Yankees got back to business in the Borough on Monday with home opening day against Baltimore. A 3-game series followed through Wednesday night, the highly anticipated debut of Masahiro Tanaka, and then, of course, the first series of the year with heated rival Boston. Bombers topped the Red Sox 4-1 Thursday night to move into a 3-way tie with Tampa Bay and Toronto for first place in the American League East. The three clubs are 5-5 after 10 games. The big talk Thursday night was the performance of Yankees starting pitcher Mike Michael Pineda. There was speculation that his performance was aided by pine tar on his hand. The young right-hander, who was great in spring training, has worked hard to get back and may finally pay dividends for the Pinstripers following a big trade a couple of seasons ago. Remember when he got dealt for Jesus Montero? Welcome back, Michael Pineda. Wednesday night was Tanaka time at the stadium. We go inside the locker room for more.
Still, I think it's too early just to make an assessment with 2 games, but you know, I have to go out. I feel that I have to go out there and perform, and just want to go out there and do my best.
Although he had a no decision, 10 strikeouts and 3 runs in 7 innings, not too shabby for the Japanese import. The Yankee homecoming this week also signaled the final opening day in the Bronx for Derek Jeter. The Bombers put together a win on Monday. Here's more from the stadium.
Important day. You get to come home for the first time, but I think the magnitude of the game with Derek involved in it, first pitches, people catching it, it was a great day.
It was a fun day, you know. It's fun right from the start with, you know, Andy Moe and Jorge here for the throwing out the first pitch. I thought it was a great day. The fans were energetic like they usually are, which makes it fun for us as players. And you know, I really missed it last year, and sometimes you don't realize it until you get back out on the field, but home openers are special here at Yankee Stadium.
I was amazed he didn't get booed, but you know, it's going to be that way every day, and he deserves every cheer he ever gets, just because of, you know, the way he handles everything, and obviously the caliber of player he's been, but then even more so the type of person he's been.
We promised the sights and sounds of opening week last time on the show. Let's spin back to opening day last week at Citi Field.
Bobby, I want to see more of you outside of the pack.
You know, I mean, stuff-wise, I would say I'm not too much different. I mean, I pretty much have the same stuff as I did when I got called up. But I think I just matured more. You know, I know myself a lot better now. I know what I have to do to be successful. And I hit my spots a little bit more probably throughout a game.
It just shows that, you know, we're not going to give up ever, and we're all going to be there.
Lost a home opener for once. The Amazons are starting to put things together. They played well at home over the weekend and took a series from Atlanta this week. Our Bronx State cameras last week went from Citi Field to Houston, where the Yankees were on the road to start the season. Here's more from our trip.
This is Bobby C., and our traveling ballpark roadshow takes us to Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the New York Yankees opened the baseball season this week.
First time out can be kind of tough, you know, because you're dealing with nerves, and it's opening day.
They swung the bats really well. They came out on fire, and give them credit. You know, young team, excited about opening day, and they hit the ball really well today.
But he'll be fine. You know, it's not the first time that, from what I understand, that CC has struggled on opening day before. So it's a lot of time the first thing you do, or the first thing, trying to get your first win, your first hit, your first run, anything, it can be kind of difficult to do.
Whatever uniform you have on, opening day is special. You know, start of a new season. No matter how you did the year before, how your team did the year before, it's a new start, and I think it's you know, I know a lot of guys are excited for opening day.
So to get a chance to be part of this season with Derek Jeter being his final year, the reception he got tonight from the Houston fans.
I mean, we're going to see that all year. I mean, he's a once-in-a-lifetime player. To get a chance to play on the same team with him, see him up close and personal, do his thing is, you know, it's pretty awesome.
I hadn't been in an opening day in a while. You know, I missed pretty much all of last year, so in that sense, I was a little anxious to get out there. But I think it was more so that as opposed to just being the last one.
The Yanks look better in Toronto in the next series and have strung together a few good games back in New York. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. On the ice, it wasn't too pretty, but the New York Rangers clinched home ice by beating Buffalo, and with Philadelphia falling in regulation, Rick Nash's late goal lifts the Broadway Blue Shirts to a 2-1 win over the Sabres. One game left in the regular season, and that's Saturday versus Montreal. Back on the baseball diamond, Jacoby Ellsbury said this week that being a Yankee is better than he thought. The former Red Sox has been off to a great start and appears very happy in pinstripes. On the gridiron, New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning underwent arthroscopic surgery on his left ankle Thursday, the team announced. Manning expects to be sidelined for up to 6 weeks. He sprained his ankle in the final game of the 2013 season. Manning had been playing some pickup hoops recently, but denies the injury being tied to that. On the hardwood, Miami may have eliminated the Knicks' faint playoff hopes Sunday in a win. New York will be in Toronto tonight and back home at the Garden for Chicago on Sunday. They are still fighting for that 8th and final playoff spot. In Brooklyn, the playoff-bound Nets are coming off a defeat to Orlando Wednesday night, but they have won 3 of the last 4. The Nets host Atlanta, the same team the Knicks are battling for that final playoff spot tonight in Brooklyn. The Nets round out the season with Orlando, the Knicks, and Cleveland. That matchup with New York could loom large in the playoff picture for the Knicks. And on the college hardwood locally, Steve Masiello will get to keep his job at Manhattan. He just needs to complete about 10 credits at Kentucky to get his degree and return from suspension. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for some perspective on the Yankees' newest Pine Star. Plenty of debate in Thursday night's ball game about dirt on Michael Pineda's hand. The Yankee pitcher was dominant in the victory over Boston, but said afterward that it was dirt, not pine tar, on the palm of his right hand. Yankee manager Joe Girardi had nothing to say about the inquiry, and Boston skipper John Farrell said it wasn't brought to his attention until the 4th inning that Pineda had what appeared to be pine tar on his hand. By the 7th, it was gone. Pineda went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, and struck out 7. I doubt that was pine tar, and I'm sticking to the fact that he may be the difference maker the Yankees need to be a legit World Series contender. Who cares about cheating anyway? But as always, I'd like to hear from you. Join the conversation with me on Twitter or Facebook, and let me know what you think of Pineda and the latest accusation. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C. More open back after this. Oh, I got pine tar in my hand. Whoops, woo!
This was me. And Mom and Dad. And my big brother Alex. And this was the day we all got to forget that I was sick. This was my wish.
Long before I was in Hollywood, I had a grandmother by the name of Estelle Marie Taylor. Positive role models to make sure that I was on the straight path. Big Brothers Big Sisters carefully screens volunteers and places them in long-term mentoring matches with kids who face adversity. With more volunteers, especially men, and more donations, every little who needs a big can help. Start something. If it's been a while since you've been involved, start something again. Learn more at bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. And you get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Welcome back to Open. It's time to get ready to groove and move. That's right. It's now time for our Open Artist Spotlight.
The Open Artist Spotlight is made possible in part with public funds from the Bronx Council on the Arts through the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program.
As many have said, music is the language of our soul. Our feelings take their own flight and music is their pilot, making sure they fly as high as possible. Our next guest has been singing opera since the age of 9, and now with a new genre, he has stolen the heart of many with his new style of bachata. Please welcome to our Open Artist Spotlight, Johnny Sky!
De tu piel y yo sé qué hacer. Siempre tengo suerte al conquistarte. Somos uno y el amor lo sabe bien. Eres testigo fiel, que solo tengo días para amarte. Aunque pase lo que pase, que estaré juntos en el mismo tren. Dame un beso con sabor a ti y que nunca se acabe. With or without you, siempre te amaré, porque tú en mí tatuaste el amor más grande. With or without you, siempre vas a ser el mío inolvidable. El antes y el después. With or without you. With or without you. Si fuera Dios haría el tiempo detener. Sostén, no me sueltes. Oh no, no. Cada minuto voy perdiéndote. Aunque pase lo que pase, aquí estaré. Juntos en el mismo tren. Dame un beso con sabor a ti y que nunca se acabe. With or without you, siempre te amaré, porque tú en mí tatuaste el amor más grande. With or without you, siempre vas a ser el mío inolvidable. Lo más grande que he podido tener. Estarás en mí por siempre. With or without you. Johnny With or without you, siempre te amaré, porque tú en mí tatuaste el amor más grande. With or without you, siempre vas a ser el mío inolvidable, inolvidable, lo más grande que he podido tener. Estarás en mí por siempre. With or without you.
With or without you, darling. Let's give it up for Johnny Sky.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, no, thank you. Look at him. Look at him. We've got our own Justin Bieber, okay? I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even say that because you're so not him. But you are so happening, okay?
Thank you so much.
Yes, I said it here. I'm like, how old are you?
I just turned 18 in February.
Oh my goodness, he's only 18 years old. Oh, goodness. Oh, you have to speak into the mic in order for them to hear you?
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, he's fine. Oh, you're mic'd up. Oh, they're way ahead of me. I just want to make sure everybody hears what you have to say.
Awesome.
So, With or Without You?
With or Without You.
Why that song?
Well, it's a little intense, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I kind of just wanted to like bring something different. I kind of want to tell a story. Each song that I bring out to the public, I want everybody to listen to the song and be able to say, you know, I've been through that one point in my life, and I just want them to. I want people to feel something now when they hear music.
Right, that's nice. You want something relatable in your flavor. All right, so let's talk about the style, right? Because I announced to everybody that you started opera, and I understand, I'm reading your bio, that you actually couldn't afford your classes, but then had a teacher that gave you the classes anyway?
Yeah, I started singing when I was about 6, but my mom and dad kind of wanted to push that, so they went looking for a voice teacher, and we went to an actual voice teacher. We went to try it out, and she gave us a price we couldn't really afford. So my mom called her up when we got home, and she told her, listen, we can't afford classes, I don't think we're going to be able to continue. But the lady called like a couple of minutes after. She was like, I kind of feel a connection with this kid, so I'll give it to him for free.
Wow.
So I got classes for free, and through there, I kind of started training classically. And I started singing at the Metropolitan Opera when I was about 9.
You started singing at the Metropolitan Opera when you were 9.
I was in the children's chorus for 4 years.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you so much.
What did you get from that? Because that's classical, and now you see bachata, and obviously you're eclectic. That's the theme today, eclectic, right? And so I didn't share with everybody the college that you got accepted into.
Yeah, I got accepted to Berklee College of Music.
Woo! And that's the college that Bobby Sanabria, who was on earlier, actually, he also graduated from and was the first Puerto Rican at Berklee. So this is nice. This is like the next generation, everyone.
Well, to be honest, I was a little surprised because it was a dream school. It was the only school I applied to when I was in high school because it was a little ambitious, but I got in. Now I kind of put it on pause because things have been getting crazy.
Like crazy,
really crazy.
Like you're signed with he's like signed with he's like signed with yeah, you say it.
I'm signed with Premium Latin Music.
Premium Latin Music.
Yes,
and for those who don't know who Premium Latin Music is, Premium Latin Music is the label that Aventura has. And so
that's right.
He's coming in under a nice label.
Awesome label.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. I was just in DR, as a matter of fact. And the tour over there was amazing, incredible acceptance. Everybody's been receiving everything so well, and I'm grateful for everything that's happening right now.
You're doing such great stuff, and the fact that you're operating with a consciousness, you're going to do so well. And not to mention all the hits he's got on YouTube. Oh my goodness. And that's a great video too.
Thank you very much.
It's a little deep and like a little discerning in the sense of like dealing with reality, and I'm just giving everybody a little taste of something to check out.
That was the goal. I kind of wanted it to be something real, something raw, not like a little, like a little show, a novela or something. I just wanted it to be something people could look at and see, wow, that actually happens in real life.
All right, so before we go, tell everybody where they can check out your video and where you're going to be playing next, or the website, or where people can find out.
People can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is official Johnny Sky, and my Twitter is Johnny Sky Music.
And on YouTube is Johnny Sky.
YouTube is Johnny Sky, and Facebook also.
Nice. Congratulations, and thank you for being here
very
with us.
Much.
All right, this boy's going to blow up, so I'm really happy he was here on our Open Artist stage. Woo! And once again, for more on Johnny Sky, follow him on Twitter, Johnny Sky Music, and for booking information, oh goodness, we even put the booking information in there. You go to premiumlatinjr@hotmail.com. Premiumlatinjr@hotmail.com. That is our show today, people. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. Be sure to check out the recablecast of tonight and throughout the weekend here on BronxNet. Here on BronxNet, and 24 hours a day, of course, at BronxNet.org. Also, tune in again on Monday to check out Open Monday with Bob Lee. Once again, I'm Reina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios, everybody. We leave you with Johnny Sky.